Hi everybody, this is Stephanie Tsang from Stephanie Tsang Creations, and today I want to show you projects that highlight the upcoming ink colors for 2025-2027. I'm using the marker for the cloud cover color as the ink pad is not currently available, but as you can see, we can use it to ink our stamps and have the color that we need. This color is called Strawberry Slush. Then we have Secret Sea, which looks a little dark on camera, but is a really nice dark blue with a bit of green in it. It looks gorgeous in person. Now we have Timid Tiger and Darling Duckling. The stamp set I will be using is called Along These Lines. It's an image stamp set that has like one line image. We also have extra lines so you can elongate the lines on each side of your projects if you need. Other products that I'm using are the flat pearls and the ink colors. Some basic jewels, rhinestones, so it goes with every type of project, always good to have. Some Wink of Stella for an extra bit of shine. The stamp set called Simply Said. What I was looking for was long and thin sentiments to add to my card, so that worked perfectly. And I have two embossing folders that I alternated between the projects. One is the Eyelet 3D. You can see the texture here. The other one is one of the newer ones. That's why it's so much bigger. So it's the birchwood and looks really great embossed with any type of image. Obviously, I'm also using cardstock so you can see them here. It's a different way to showcase the color. So we have Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Cloud Cover, Strawberry Slush, and Secret Sea. Now I want to show you some samples that I made to showcase the colors and the stamp set. You can see that on some projects I use the cardstock in the color as a background, sometimes white. I've also used either white embossing powder on colored cardstock, or I've used colored ink on white cardstock. So this shows different ways that we can use the colors either with the cardstock or the ink, just a different effect as well. So there's some texture and there's a bit of Wink of Stella, which we cannot see really well on screen, but really adds a bit of shine to cards. And here are different variations of these projects that you can make either with the colored cardstock embossed on the front or the white powder embossed on the colored cardstock, just to give really different effects. Some images are vertical, some are horizontal, so you just have to use the same layout, but you can just turn everything around. So here are the projects from a little closer so you can see how they look, each of them. Now on to make the samples. I went ahead and embossed this image already on powder because it doesn't show as well on camera. So I inked with Versamark and I stamped my image. I added the extra lines. And then with my powder, my heat tool, I heat set to get this embossed effect of the white on the colored cardstock. My pieces here are 2 inches by 3 3/4. It is the same for the pieces whether they're in colored cardstock or white. I use the same dimensions on every card. The mat is 1/4 of an inch shorter on each side, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. Same thing for this piece here. And the card base is a standard card base, so I cut my sheet in half. So here I have 5.5, and I score at 4 1/4. Now to emboss the texture for the front of the card. So I'm using the cut and emboss machine. I have my base plate here. The folders I'm using are 3D, so I'm going to use the gray plate number 4. I place my piece of cardstock inside the folder. I try to line it up straight, depending on the pattern. Sometimes it matters. This is the birchwood. I put my plate on top, feed it in, and then start rolling to get it through the machine. And there we have our first piece of embossed cardstock. Now to the next one. It is also a 3D one, so I will use the exact same layers. Place a piece of cardstock inside the folder. Also straight for this one, put it in, roll it through to get the effect on the other side. And here we have the other texture. Then I will proceed with the stamping for this one. I chose the image of the cake. I had not used it yet, and I wanted it in the pink strawberry slush. This image is vertical, so I place my piece in the right way. Tap my ink pad lightly. Place the image in the middle. For this one, the lines almost touch the edge, but I wanted to really touch, so I use my small line to add just a little bit. Sometimes it will be more necessary than others. I probably could have left this one, but I just wanted it to be the same as the other projects that I made. A little bit of Wink of Stella to add some shine. So depending on the image, you may choose to color the entire thing. For this one, because we had all these nice layers to the cake, I only put it in some particular layers, not everywhere. Make sure to shake your Wink of Stella and make sure you don't press too hard. Ask me how I learned. And just a last little touch for the candles to make them extra bright. I'm now stamping the sentiment for this one. I don't have a specific measurement for these little strips. I normally just use the strips that I have on hand from cutting from different projects and just try to find something that matches what I have. I would say it's probably 1/4 of an inch. I'm now using my seal to adhere the front of the card to the base. Just going to give my card base a nice crease with my bone folder. I adhere the mat, leaving an even frame around it. I like to use the inside of the card to make sure my adhesive is there. That way I don't flatten the texture that I want on the front of my card. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of this to make sure we have a little bit of dimension. I'm not sure if I've ever finished a card that did not have at least something with dimensionals. It just wouldn't feel the same not to have that little pop here and add different layers to the card. I place it in the center, just so. Same thing, I go from inside just to make sure I don't rip anything when I want to make sure the adhesive is cut nicely. Now my piece of cardstock was a little longer than I want. I could have used my cutter to make sure it was straight, but when you go at an angle, well, you kind of solve the problem. It's not straight on purpose. Now I want one dimensional on this side and then glue dots on the other side so I have the dimension only where I want it. I'm just adding it to the front of my card off to the side a little bit. And it went, oh, I didn't quite line it up. So I'm just going to fix that with my scissors and cut it just a tad shorter. I'm going to add 3 of those rhinestones, 1 on the image and 2 at an angle off to the side. Always remember to use an odd number of embellishments when you're making a project. It's just more pleasing to the eyes. For the inside of the card or envelope, I would either repeat the image or use the heart. So either repeated hearts, or you can just do one with a longer line. If you wanted a really image that goes all through a card or a scrapbook project, you could use the long line there. Now for the next project, like I said, I already embossed the image here. So I will just stamp my sentiment on this little strip. And this is where I come in with the marker. Since I don't have the ink pad for this, it could be the fact that like this one is not available at the moment, or just that you bought the markers instead of the ink pad is a little easier in the budget, but you can still ink your images and have really nice color from them. So I color with my marker, give it a little huff, and then go straight to the paper, and voila, you have your color with the marker. I'm repeating the process here of using my seal to adhere the front of the card. The image horizontally this time, still in the middle. A few dimensionals to lift it up. For this one, since the front of the card is mostly white, I want to balance it with a pop of color. That's why I'm using the flat pearls in Cloud Cover. It's the same color, like tone on tone, but because the pearl has a bit of a shine to it, I think it stands out just enough. I'm doing the same thing, so one on the image itself and then two at an angle off to the side. For the sentiment, depending on the image you have, you can either do it under the image on top of the cardstock, but since I did the other cards with the sentiment underneath, that's what I'm going to do now. And I just realized that I forgot it on the sample that I showed you at the beginning. I'm going to have to fix that later. So just a bit of seal for this one. Right underneath the image, a little off to the side, lined up with the image there. I would also do whiter or lighter inside, so a piece of white cardstock probably aligned with a heart, either on the inside or in the envelope, to make sure you finish your projects nicely, but I'm not going to show that in the video today. So you can see two different ways to showcase the color. The same layout, same idea, but just a little difference here. And here are the cards again, just so you can see the different ways to use this layout. You can do this with any stamps that you have, an image, any color. It's a very simple layout, and you can see the different projects here. I hope that you enjoyed this and find some inspiration in the projects that I shared today. And remember that you can use your markers just as well as the ink pad for your projects. Have a nice creative day.